Cardi and Nicki have been going at it. It seems like things have cooled. I know a lot of people have already pulled on them. If you watch other tarot videos, I know that I am late to the party. I kind of did that for a reason. I wanted that to play out. I am really personally interested in the upcoming Mercury retrograde that we are going to be having in Sagittarius because our girl Nicki is a Sag. And we already know that she's, girl's got a lot of information. She's got a lot to say. When we have a Mercury retrograde going through an intimate part of our charts and we're already kind of activated, is a likelihood that those, messages, contracts, mercurial related things may come back to the surface to either be revisited or, reconciled, whatever. But I'm curious to see how that will play out for her. But let's go ahead. I think the way that I want to approach this is I want to pull 3 for Nicki and 3 for Cardi. I do feel like a lot of this is interpersonal between the two of them, but I also feel like a lot of this is just their own personal shit kind of being funneled through the tension in their conflict. But so I think that might be the best way for me to address them. Right. And I'm a fan of both ladies. I would love to see them collab. I would love to see them use their forces for good, not evil. Can you imagine? Oh my God. It would be amazing. Stop pinning women against one another. Okay. 3 for Nicki. 6 of Cups. Star. 3 of Swords. And then 3 for Cardi. Hermit. Knight of Wands. Lovers. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's start with our girl, Nicki. Nicki has the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is oftentimes affiliated with children in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck. It's, I think, one of the few cards that actually has children in the card. But it also has to do with nostalgia, memories, things from the past, warm feelings, things like that as well. The next card is the Star card, which is like hope, aspiration, but it also is celebrity and being kind of like in the public eye or noticed, revered. But there is also this kind of like inspirational tint to it as well. Then we have the 3 of Swords, which is about heartbreak, disappointment, loss, regret, pain, etc., etc. So I do feel like Nicki is coming from a place of really being stuck in past pain. With the Star card, perhaps she felt like she was on top at one point, and with the 3 of Swords, she no longer has that, and so that's very painful. Maybe there are reasons for that happening behind the scenes that have been kind of, destructive to her career really continuing to progress to the level that maybe it should have. But it does seem like she maybe is kind of clinging to the past and also to the idealized version of herself, her career, her celebrity, in all of that. Now, there's 2 kids in these cards, so I imagine that her child is playing a very important part of this as well. I know that they've gone back and forth, throwing insults at the kids, which is never cool. But it does seem like she's feeling very protective about that situation and has a lot of pain around that as well. It seems like she's holding on, like with the 3 of Swords being about regret, with the 6 of Cups being about the past. She's got a lot. Nicki is not living in the here and now. Nicki is still dealing with shit from like before, which is reminding me again about like the Mercury retrograde. Is something going to come up during that time frame that's really going to make some sense of like where all of this energy with her is coming from. Mercury goes retrograde on November 9th, and it's going to station direct on November 29th. So we want to keep our eyes out on the month of November for our girl Nicki Minaj, because she's still living in the past. She's still working through stuff from the past. She's still living in the past. She's still very activated by the past, and she's not letting that go. It's like a dog with a bone. So that's kind of what I'm feeling for her. Let's go ahead and put her to the side and pull Cardi forward. Cardi has our 2 major arcana cards. The Star is also major arcana for Nicki. So again, that's going to be kind of the focus for her, is like her idealized perception of herself and her career is kind of at the base of this. And then again, her son potentially as well. And then so Cardi has the Hermit, the Knight of Wands, and the Lovers card. So the Hermit is about reflection, introspection, can also be about feeling kind of isolated. I wonder if Cardi's not really feeling the support that she normally feels. Something's going on with her. She is not really feeling, even though she is such a public extroverted person, it seems like maybe behind the scenes she is becoming a lot more introverted and reflective, and really kind of pulling back or pulling inwards. And I think she might have actually been the one to kind of diffuse the back and forth once it kind of reached a certain level. Then we got the Knight of Wands, and that is about like impulsive behavior, reactivity. She was being very impulsive. You know, I think when a lot of that back and forth happened, that makes a lot of sense. The Knight of Wands is often, to me, associated with Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I believe, is the sign of both her past partner, Offset, and her current partner, God, I forgot his name. Whatever, and her current partner. All I remember is that there is this clip going around of all of the guys in the locker room on his team saying that this is the guy they would never want their sister to date. So do with that what you will. But so I believe both of them are Sagittarius, and I often affiliate Sagittarius with the Knight of Wands because it does have this kind of like adventure seeking, recklessness, impulsive, passionate, you know, fiery, in the moment energy, but it's not really thought out. It's not really sustainable. So I'm feeling that from her. I'm also feeling that from the men in her life as well. And I say that because the Lovers is our final card, and that obviously is about partnership and alignment. And I feel like her relationships might be kind of clouding her need for introspection. And really, that just makes total sense why they are bouncing off of one another in such a reactive way. They're both in such fragile and sensitive places. And I think a lot of projection that maybe should be sent towards partners or business decisions or personal things are being funneled and directed at one another instead. And I would love for these girls to get into alignment and maybe choose each other, and getting their mutual bag. Like, can you imagine how profitable a joint track would be? Let's see it, girlies.